A word for our listeners. Achtung Cthulhu is set in the 1930s and 40s. We will be using terms and sayings from those times, including some that could be considered offensive. It is not our intention to offend. We merely wish to offer as accurate a view of the time period as possible. Welcome to Masks of Nyarlathotep, a Nerds Domain gaming podcast. Join us each week as our investigators uncover the corruption of the mythos in World War II. Starring George Chimples, Phil Durham, Rob Walker, Justin Kimmet, Shirley Niedzwiecki, and Scott Troiano, with Matt Quiett running the table as the keeper. Eldritch evils and crazed Nazi cultists await you just beyond this music.
Hi everybody and welcome back to the Nerds Domain Presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. I'm here with Shirley.
Hi.
George.
Go back and check out Miami Vice. That show is insane.
Rob.
Having a great time.
Phil.
Don't check out the Miami Vice movie.
Okay, sure.
And,
Can't vouch for that. I'm not going to.
And Jesse.
Hello.
And last time we were in the Von Kampf home. What? Mein Kampf?
Mein Kampf.
Yeah, how many F's does it have?
Just one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Von Struggle.
That's a bus.
Maybe it was camp. I don't know, whatever.
It's like the short.
You pronounced it Kampf the first
I
time
did.
I didn't say it.
I'm fine.
Struggle bus.
So the two servants that brought in the table go and drag the body of the man out of the room.
Are we going to bring him back?
Claudia looks over and says, no, he was a traitor to the Reich. We don't bring traitors back. We bring loyal soldiers like this SS officer.
So is he back to normal? Like, can he think and stuff?
No. He's mindless, directable, perfect soldier.
Carlos squints.
Evelyn puts her hand on his arm.
Where are they standing in relation to the table? Where the
Not
thing
near
took
you.
place?
Near the table.
Near the table, yeah.
I'm going to go to the table and start inspecting the table.
The table itself?
Yeah, I'm looking for like a trap door.
Yeah, this has to be an illusion.
No, that guy was dead.
No, it's there's no trapdoor, there's no nothing.
Yeah, Carlos says that guy was dead, like, very certainly when you're inspecting that. That was not a
I'm
trick.
kind of look.
What, is this
Look
soldier
up
still
at the
standing
ceiling.
there?
Yes. Tahira kind of places her hand gently on his back and begins to lead him back towards the kitchen where she came from.
So after Diego's comment, I'm going to ask Weisler, are those the qualities you're looking for?
In Tahira?
No, and I'm going to point at Albert. Or
Albrecht.
Albrecht.
What qualities do you mean?
You referenced qualities that you wanted.
He has different qualities that we are looking for. Well, I promise you'll see more tonight.
I've seen...
Oh,
I don't know what I've seen.
This is what I was talking about. Magic exists. He was dead, now he's not. Or even if you consider him not alive, he is no longer dead.
Well, I mean, your South American nations have been practicing voodoo for a while. That's not
This
a new
isn't
thing.
this isn't voodoo though. Voodoo isn't assumed that it will bring things back from the dead. This isn't that.
In Spain, there were stories of this.
Yes. During the conflict there.
It was a war. You don't need to use euphemisms.
During the war there, some of the priests of the Black Sun practiced to learn how to do this correctly.
What sort of tasks can these resurrected individuals do?
Menial labor, anything that doesn't require higher thoughts, hold lines, fire at enemies. They can recognize the difference between uniforms. So basic recognition, not facial recognition. If I were to put you in a Nazi uniform and William in a Nazi uniform, they wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
What about human needs, sleep, food?
They do not sleep. They do not need food.
What about wounds?
They take wounds, but they don't seem to slow them unless it cripples them to a great degree.
Mechanical. Lose an arm.
Lose an arm, lose a leg, crush something. If the bone can't sustain the weight, then that means they can't continue to use that part of the body.
How do they move? I mean,
magic. I'm
a scholarly man.
It's all standard muscle contraction. But instead of blood, there's a mystical quality that allows them to exist and perform their duties.
How long do they last?
How long were the first rumors of the war? Of these in your war?
I left Spain before the war ended. 30... When the Germans... A year or so after the Germans entered, I think. Is when I first became aware of them.
So since then?
Those ones still exist.
Some of them, not all of them.
Well,
some of them were destroyed. They are...
So you do not know yet?
Yeah, they could be immortal. We assume we believe they are from the text that we've read.
Interesting. Carlos is not smirking anymore, needless to say. He seems to be taking this all very seriously.
The group in the room has begun to kind of disperse. There are a lot of shocked faces, like they had no idea this was coming. And there are a few faces that show no hint of being shocked. Like they knew this was not only going to come, but they've probably seen it before.
Can only this woman do this?
No, there are others within the Black Sun that can do this as well. I myself have not learned it. I don't feel the need to bring soldiers back from the dead when others can.
Germany will be very powerful.
More
so.
Is very powerful.
I mean more so than it is.
We've not seen widespread use yet. It can be taxing, but as we go forward.
Taxing on the individual performing the ritual.
Yes. It can also be performed on... It can be performed on others that are not of the Reich, and they will still follow the same orders.
What if...
So it's from the person...
that uses the ritual.
Evelyn kind of tilts her head a little bit and looks to the table and then looks at him with a kind of smirk on her face, and she says, "So how does one go about learning to do this?"
First, you must dream with us this evening, and then we will discuss the further steps.
Can you perform this ritual upon an animal?
Yes, it's a little more feral. The deeper instincts of an animal seem to take over. For instance, a trained dog brought back in such a way can still be mostly dealt with, but anything wild is still very wild and a little more aggressive than they once were. Bears are not as docile, not that they're an incredibly docile creature to begin with, but they attack much more often. And the pain that would stop a bear from perhaps continuing an attack will not stop these. So if you wound a bear enough, it will cease. These will not. So as you guys are kind of standing there thinking, like, Weissler just kind of lets you, like he's allowing you to kind of take this all in and really get used to the ideas. Tahira comes back out. She has changed into kind of a flapper dress, but a little more revealing, a lot more skin showing as far as her décolletage area. but it's not like she's just flaunting everything. It's just more skin. She comes and stands next to Weisler, kind of runs her hand across the back of his shoulders, and then peers at the three of you kind of standing there. Albrecht, have you joined them?
Yeah.
So the four of you standing there, I assume Blake is kind of off by himself.
Correct.
Okay. So she says, did you learn anything this evening?
I believe I've unlearned much.
Her English is, her German is very perfect. There's almost not even a hint of some sort of, what do you call that?
Accent.
There you go. Accent. It is, William, do you have a high level of German?
Only 30.
Okay. So yeah, it's just a very clean,
52.
a very clean, crisp kind of German. It's my understanding that you're interested in delving more into what the Black Sun has to offer.
Very interested.
I just shake my head. Yep, up and down.
Does Diego respond?
Yeah, he nods.
And Albrecht?
Yes.
Excellent. Tell me, Miss, I'm sorry, I have not caught your name. Tahira Wilkerson. Lady Tahira Wilkerson.
Evelyn October.
Do you dream vividly, Evelyn?
Sometimes.
Excellent. Perhaps Claudia can help you with that more.
I feel like I would enjoy that.
Excellent. We will be ready in an hour or so. Our host has allowed us to use a sitting room upstairs where some couches have been brought in, and we can experience this together. I will join you in this particular journey.
Be honored.
Is there anything else that you folks would need from me this evening?
I kind of defer to the professor.
Then I will prepare for your enlightenment. And she wanders back towards the kitchen, then comes back out of the kitchen a moment later carrying a tray that's kind of covered with a cloth, and then heads upstairs.
I kind of step into the group.
Weisler is still there. So,
Okay.
although if you wanted him to leave, like he doesn't have to stay there. He can be distracted away.
No.
Okay. So Weisler continues to have just simple conversations, general here and there. It's nothing important. He kind of shies away from any conversation having to do with later this evening. It's made kind of clear that he wants you to experience it rather than talk about it. And about 20 minutes later, he does get drawn away to another conversation, although he does seem keen on furthering any conversations he has with you, William.
Okay.
So Weisler eventually does begin to kind of pull away, leaving the four of you kind of standing together. At that point, Blake, you do see that the four of them are together. This would be your chance to rejoin the group and kind of discuss it.
And unless I'm signaled to, I'm going to continue to do what social activities I have done. Or they approach me trying to not intentionally distance myself, but just be like, oh, we're here as a group, and so in particular doing, even in academics, doing research, trying to learn more, so we should all be talking to different people in my mind as, a part of a theory about how to go about this than traveling as a single unit.
Yeah.
So, breaking up being social, and then from an agent type standpoint being like, oh, well, just in case somehow we all get outed, not necessarily being like, oh, well, we know exactly what everybody looks like at this point. So unless, they like wave me down or someone approaches me, no, I'm not going to circle in and touch base.
Okay.
Because also, since all of this has been happening in German, I haven't had any discussions, or overheard anything about, that there might be this thing that I need to go do later.
Okay. So what about the rest of you guys? Are you motioning Blake over, or are you having a conversation? It seemed surely like you kind of wanted to discuss this.
Well, if I'm sorry, what is his name? The guy walks away to enough distance. Weisler. I would lean into the professor and ask him, like, is this the road that we're taking?
This is the road I'm taking.
Okay.
That's
it.
You have the option of joining me, or you have the option of ducking out now, but
no, I'm curious.
I'm committed to this path.
Yes.
My research is culminating to this kind of point. Diego?
Do you believe in a soul?
Are you speaking in English or German?
English.
Okay.
In a sense.
What's that mean?
I mean, yeah, there seems to be something more than the existence of people, but whether it's the soul in the theological sense, I can't really say.
But there's some sort of energy within us that is more than just
Oh, yes, for sure.
flesh and bone.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that thing had a soul?
No. Not at all.
You look satisfied.
So are you joining us?
Sure.
If you're not committed, I'm pretty sure they're gonna figure that out.
Oh, won't it prove the truth of their theories more if the uncommitted become committed?
I'm not sure it works that way from the explanation I've been given.
Doubting Thomas. These are all lapsed Catholic people. Yeah, let's do this. I'm in.
All right, Al. It's judgment. Are you willing to walk through the dream world again? Dream. I think he calls it the dream something.
Land.
Dreamland. I've come too far to turn back now. Even though I'm trying to turn back as hard as I can.
You need to be all in.
I'm in.
I mean all in.
They believe I'm all in.
That's not gonna work. You need to believe you're all in.
I'm all in.
All right.
Do you approach Blake about this?
Let's get all crick crunk on the flippy sides.
For our listeners, that was a head shake no.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for the audio on that.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm brain die thing dead.
It's good. I'll twist you up on the mollies up in here.
Blake seems content in his own world. I'm not seeing him make any reference to us or.
Well, but he is also one of your occult experts, so
Yes.
that's only. I'm just suggesting.
Who are you talking with?
No one in particular, various people, and I'm not speaking to all that many people since I don't speak German. I'm a pretty big guy, and I'm not all that attractive a guy, so I'm probably sticking out a little bit like a sore thumb, and I'm just,
Then I'll approach Blake and ask him what he thinks. What do you think?
Do you explain the situation because he hasn't
No,
heard
I
any
want
of it?
I want to know what he thinks. I want to know his thoughts. I mean, I've had Weisler in my ear.
So If that's the question you're asking,
I'm asking, what do you think?
right? I have to assume you're asking about the raising of the body. So, have I read or learned about any such type thing in my occult or?
Yeah, I mean, Jesus was resurrected from the dead. Actually, it is a curious
Not
passion.
in this manner, you heathen.
There is a curious passage at the raising of Christ that other bodies also got up and walked away from their tombs. So, yes, Christ is one thing, but there is a power in doing that, and magic is not a... I mean, if God uses magic, whatever. Like, that's not something that's, antithetical to what you believe. If they're grasping something like that, it is either divine or satanic. Or,
Fair enough.
So whatever they did here, there was power in it. You could feel that.
So,
and I'm sorry. Other cults, other situations, as far as a cult goes, there are some that claim they can do it, but there's never been any proof.
as under my breath as I can in English, I'll say, we've seen evil this evening.
Are you willing to see more?
To know your enemy is to defeat your enemy.
I believe that there's a power that's going to take place based off of conviction as well as action. So if you are not committed to this cause in the same manner that they seem to be committed, I'm going academic. I want to know. And I want to know wholeheartedly what just happened.
We're not isolated enough to speak.
If you speak quietly in English, no one's going to pick up on it.
Okay.
And you guys aren't the only ones kind of off by yourselves whispering. Some of the other people that were startled by this are doing the same. So it's not like you're going to stick out there either.
Okay. You can certainly learn from evil, but I can't commit myself to evil. I don't know what acts it is that you're asking me to do, but to commit myself to doing what these people do, there's no way I can do that. And how can you think to do these evil acts? This is unnatural and wrong.
I don't share that perception.
Good to understand that.
I'm not sure our characters are going to be good friends.
And that's the moment that Blake decided that William Thomas had to die.
You get out of my head. You get out of my head right now.
And this is how it turncoats. Let's.
So real quick, just for note later, Rob, did you listen to any part of season 1?
No.
Okay. I'm seeing a pattern in professors. Just didn't know if you saw that. So go ahead.
I've
No,
only
it's fine.
been involved in what we've done here, so I'm all off the cuff. That way,
No, that's
new
fine.
characters
I like
that
it.
you
I like
guys
it.
know, I don't. It makes it more fun.
Excellent.
Did
So
they
let's
go to talk?
I'm sorry.
How far did they go off to talk? How
They're
far
probably
away are
close
they?
enough you can see them or find them.
So this Queen Latifah gal, I don't know her. So
Tahira.
whatever, who cares? I mean, no, we really do care, but I don't remember her name off the top of my head, and I can't turn around and still talking to the mic.
Yeah.
So,
Well, but you mentioned that incident, so if you've read case files about it, then you would know the name.
which incident?
The one on the boat.
I don't. They didn't refer
They described
to her.
They described her as like you would be aware of who she is as far as connection
Right,
to Wilkerson,
but-
but like
But what her actual name is, things like that. That wasn't because even then when we went through it, she wasn't introduced with her real name.
Yeah.
It was an alibi.
The tie to season 1 has not been made by the characters currently being played, or the previous characters being played. I take that back. One of the players knows about it, but only because she interacted with an NPC.
So I'm sorry, you're saying that you don't know what about Tahira?
That's Nitocris.
Oh, you're right.
Right.
That's it.
Oh, but you do know that she was involved in the
description
from
the description matches.
the boat and-
right. The description matches that, and then I know how she relates to the Duke.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Earl.
The Earl.
Yes, he's an Earl of Sandwich.
Earl of Sandwich, right.
Sandwich.
Sandwich.
All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Jesse?
Well, I mean, does that conclude our conversation?
Well, when I go to step off, my last statement is kind of like I'm closing the statement and walking off is now I have concerns, and that's all I'm going to say.
Your closing statement is now you have concerns. Or your closing statement is I don't see the same thing. I don't see that the same way as you do.
No, that's my closing statement is I have concerns, and I'm going to walk off. Kind of abruptly and kind of cold shoulder.
And just so that I'm clear once again, you're an FBI agent. Okay.
Oh, you haven't got to hear my backstory yet?
No.
Okay.
It's not posted or anything.
Nope. It is not.
Matt,
Yep.
this new group of people that I'm all of a sudden grouped with,
Yeah.
I'm going to look around for comfort levels, see who's all more okay with this than others, who are less okay with this. Would that be like an espionage or?
It would be psychology.
Because Mr. Williams is way too comfortable.
It's psychology.
Let's see here. That's not going to go well. 28. Psychology. What's in that? Yeah, no.
I'm sorry?
Okay, never mind. No, I didn't make it.
All right. Okay, so the rest of the hour passes. Eventually, Weissler and Claudia come and meet the 5 of you, and bring you upstairs to the sitting room. You guys enter the room. There are 6 couches laying there. There is they are kind of arranged in a circle around, but not touching, like in kind of an open circle around the tray that's been put on essentially a TV tray.
I'm
They
sorry.
didn't have TVs.
Right, but you get what I'm saying. It's a smaller table.
Why would they invent a TV tray when there's no TVs?
So it's it's on a small table. A small, very
So wait.
portable table.
You're saying the scene for what again? I'm sorry.
The dream. Going into the dream.
To take the drugs.
Doing drugs.
Okay, so how did I get there?
Oh, I thought you were going with them. Like you said, knowing your enemy is...
But that was before I know that they wanted me to commit an act, because I had to role play that.
That's true.
As
That
if
is-
I had absolutely no idea
fair.
what had
This is
been
fair.
discussed, and he just asked me
Okay,
very
so
broadly.
The 4 of you go. Did you not invite him?
No.
Whoa! One of our guys isn't going.
Yeah.
I'll wave him to come up with us.
I'll try to get his attention. I haven't been told he's not coming.
Okay. So you are waved by Diego and Albrecht to come upstairs with you, with the rest of the group.
What's going on?
We're going up.
Hey, why aren't you coming along?
I don't know what's going on. All right, let's go.
We're going to take the drug to go to the valley.
Excuse me?
Yeah, it's upstairs. Let's go.
Who's around right now?
It's really just the 5 of you.
No, I think.
So there's no, everyone else has left the party and...
No, I mean, there are other people in the party,
Yeah.
but going up the stairs is just the 5 of you.
Like Thomas, myself, and
So even though I'd never met
whomever.
or
that's
was introduced
leading is
to
up.
Weissler or whatever, it's expected that I was going to be there and...
You were pointed out.
Because you were
Yeah.
part of the group.
You're a grad student research assistant, so you don't really get a choice.
That's how I'm playing it.
That's kind of how it is.
Yeah.
Come on, guinea pig. Actually, I kind of got my back to him.
Did you really say guinea pig?
Are you guys all right?
I'll go and supervise you all so that I know that you are not
We're
harmed.
safe. Armed?
Harmed.
Oh.
Okay, so the 5 of you go up. I was right to begin with.
I just wanted to
there are-
establish how I was.
No,
getting
that's
there.
fine. No, I completely appreciate that. So you go up. There are 6 couches, and there's a small portable table with a tray on top of it. The cloth has been pulled back, and there are 6 small pills and a ritualistic dagger laying on the tray.
What color are the pills?
They're like a grayish, gritty color.
Well, we're not getting stabbed, are we?
No,
Who says no?
I say no. But
I asked that question in character.
Yeah, what was the knife? The knife was used in the
Tahira
last one.
Tahira looks at you and seems taken aback. No, why would we stab you?
There's a knife there.
There are other things you can do with a knife in ritual work.
Oh, like cutting it, yes.
Yeah, but we're not going to stab you.
Oh, cool.
So, if you'll all take a place on the couch,
I lay down on a couch.
do you all lay down?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
What's and language is she
very
speaking?
purposefully.
When you don't move, she switches over to English. She says, "Would you like to take your place on the couch?"
I would like to observe my friends for their safety.
Oh, no, that's understandable. The experience will not be anywhere near the same. You may be here for a few hours.
I'm comfortable with this.
Okay.
Thank you.
She doesn't seem concerned about that at all. I mean, hey, everybody goes on a trip. Somebody's got to watch, right? She does motion. You can sit, though. Relax.
Thank you. I will take a guarded seat.
Weissler and Claudia are also there. Claudia is writing some notes down on like a pad of paper, and Weissler is kind of just staring off into nothing. He seems to be off in his own little world already. Tahira walks over to the tray after you all have laid down, and cuts a small slash on her left palm, and then drips blood on each of the pills, and then brings the tray to each of you, and picks up the pill and offers to put it in your mouth.
I open my mouth.
She puts it in your mouth and says, "Don't chew, swallow. There have been mistakes made in the past."
Start snickering.
That's a player laugh, not a character laugh.
She moves on to Diego. Do you take the...
Yeah, he sticks his tongue out.
Okay. Evelyn?
Yes.
Albrecht?
Yep.
She places the tray back on the little table. She lays down herself and grabs the last pill and puts it in her mouth. And you all swallow. You lay there for a couple of minutes, and you start to feel the narcotic take effect. It makes you feel light, but very heavy and kind of calmed into the couch. And then you begin to drift off into what you would normally feel as sleep. Blake, you don't see anything unnatural other than they all do seem to fall asleep pretty quickly. Just a couple of minutes before they're breathing very heavily, their eyes are closed, and they're just kind of relaxed. Claudia is taking notes, walking by each one. She's not touching them. She's not really doing much. She's just, like, looking at them. Like, but there's nothing to observe. They're just
Wait, I
all
thought
laying
Claudia
there.
took the pill.
No.
No,
Tahira
Tahira
took
Tahira
the
took
pill.
the pill. Okay.
So
I'm mixing up my ladies.
I'm sorry, just so that
Not
I
the
have
same
the
deal.
scene set correctly. Weissler's in the room,
Yes. Still
Tahira.
staring off by himself. No, nothing's going on there.
but he's not sleeping. He's
No.
staring off.
He's staring off.
Okay.
Is he just staring at the wall like a total weirdo?
Yeah.
Cool.
Tahira and the rest of the party are now asleep.
Yeah.
Claudia's there checking on people, but there's nothing to observe about them.
I mean, other than they're asleep, but she seems to be taking, like, way more notes than the subject is asleep. Like, half a page of notes for each person.
Okay. Is there anyone else present in the room?
No, just you. That's it.
Seems like a good time to kill all the mages.
what? I know you set some of what the room was like, and there was the table and these chairs.
There's
like bookcases.
There's a bookcase with a few books, mostly German novels, some history books. Nothing.
So when I go and just kind of, so after a short period of time, and everyone seems to be doing fine, and I wander over there, Claudia doesn't seem.
Claudia takes note that you've moved, but not like in a bad way. Just like, oh, okay, whatever.
So I'll just, in a mildly interested manner, peruse the books, kind of like, oh, I'm bored.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, I'm doing a serious investigation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe pull one out that is in English and look at it for a second, then put it back. Like it was the Adventure of Tom Sawyer, boopity doo. Like, okay, yeah.
It's an odd book for them to have.
A little bit. I was just pulling one out of my head. So, really good at this, guys. Really good. So good at this game. I'm really looking for a description of something, and I don't have it in the book I need. So we're just gonna wing it. So the four of you awaken, but you are not awake. Albrecht, you have felt this feeling before. You're standing at the top of a set of stairs that goes down into a valley. And as you kind of take in your surroundings, you're on what you would describe as a plain or maybe a plateau. You feel like you're up above quite a bit. The ground has a sandy rock-like quality to it, but it's like hues of purple, and the sand is like a almost like a light purple, almost like between a light purple and a gray. And it kind of makes patterns where it lays between in bunches between open areas that don't have any sand. So it's almost like it's like a mottled skin. But it seems to just go on, and it is broken occasionally in the distance by what look like sharp, jagged rocks, just kind of at angles coming out of the ground. They have a red hue to them, and they are very, whereas everything else seems almost like rounded and bumpy, they are angled and aggressive looking, if that makes sense. And you find, all four of you can see each other. And then, coming up the steps, Tahira walks towards you and speaks, but not in any language that you are aware of. Like, so to you, Carlos, you hear it in Spanish. Everybody else hears it in English as their normal first language. She says, "Good, you finally made it."
Oh, good, we're speaking in tongues. That's helpful.
Oh, so she speaks in Hebrew for me?
Yes, she does.
Interesting.
Were you here before us?
Oh, yeah, I've been here. Well, it's been a while.
When you take the pill more, is it easy? Do you arrive quicker?
I've practiced. I know how to control it. This is your first time. You've probably been asleep for an hour in the real world.
Is there a sensation of a wind or anything like that? I'm going to start like playing with the sand.
No, there is not. The sand, as you pick it up, has like a thickness quality, so it doesn't like just scoop up easily. You have to kind of, that like fake sculpty sand stuff. Yeah. It's kind of like that. And it has a real grit to it, like a thick sandpaper. But it just drops into a fine mist of sand, but like normal sand would, but it's kind of weird and ethereal.
I'm going to put some in my pocket.
I'm sorry?
I'm going to put some of the sand in my pocket.
In your pocket? I think you said in a bucket. I was like...
No, in my pocket.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I was about to ask. Are we fully dressed?
You are dressed in whatever you were wearing while you were at the party.
I'm going to try to kind of like walk out of her point of view and check to see if I'm still armed.
Roll luck.
Let's see here. 19. Yes, I am lucky.
Okay. You are still armed, and it is loaded.
Okay. Is there any
question? Is it a revolver or is it an automatic pistol?
It would be a revolver.
Okay.
I assume we didn't actually.
No, that's fine. That was just a question. Whatever you felt would work.
Yeah. Is there any rocks around, or is it all just fine dust?
It's just the fine dust.
I'll pocket some as well then.
Okay.
How far away are the jetty things?
It's a good question. You can't
Like,
really. You can't.
To
You
me,
can't.
does it look like it's a mile away, a football field away?
Roll your luck. It's not actually luck, but that's the stat I want to use.
Is she wearing the same thing she was wearing?
No, this is more Egyptian. It's white, and it's almost like she's taken two pieces of cloth and draped them over her shoulder and then brought them down down across her breasts, and it gathers at the middle and then goes down into almost like a dress. It doesn't make it's very finely made, or it doesn't make any sense because it's open on the sides but clings to her body in an appropriate way to not show off anything inappropriate.
I made it.
Okay. They are both near and far. Like, you're looking at one, you're like, oh, that's like across the street. And you're like, no, that's like a mile and a half away. And your mind kind of deals with that for a moment, and you realize that it is both.
I start walking toward the one that is across the street.
No, this is the same one. It is both across the street and a mile and a half away. It exists both places. And between that.
I'm gonna look at my shoes. I assume we're black.
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna try to imagine them as like a brown suede. Like, really.
Roll your power times 3. And if you need help with that, I know some people don't do the multiplying quick.
16, 45, 48. Okay. Missed.
They flicker for a moment, and they flip back, mark off a point of magic, a magic point. She puts her hand on your arm. She was not right directly next to you a moment ago, but now she is, and she says, "Stop! Don't strain yourself yet. It's much easier to manipulate things here when you're actually here. This is merely a projection of yourself." Are you wandering off still, Evelyn? Mm-hmm. As you start to walk, you feel her hand on your back, kind of like at the small of your back. She says, "Evelyn, it's easy to get lost here, and the spiders will devour you. And they are..."
That makes me stop.
They are not... When they're born, they're the size of a Shetland pony. It's best to stay near the valley. It's safe here for us.
I go back up to the stairs.
So come.
If we're just a projection, can we still be harmed here?
This is a projection of your mind. If your mind is harmed, it will potentially leave you catatonic.
Walking back up the stairs.
Down the stairs. Because this is down into the valley. So come. And she just starts walking down the stairs. As you're descending into the valley itself, you can see the stairs and down into the valley, but it's not like the ground opens up in front of you into a valley. It's just still the plateau. But as you start to walk down, you can see it growing up above you and around you. And once you're down in the valley where the land has kind of opened, you see juts of what looks like obsidian, but doesn't have that glassy look to it. It's almost like a metal sheen instead of a glassy sheen. It breaks out in some areas. It's still that same like angled, very aggressive look to it, but it's not really close enough that you can touch it. It's up far enough. You do see a few spots where it's been clearly dug out, but those are closer to where you're walking instead of up above or away from you. And you walk for what seems like a day. I mean, it feels like you've been walking and walking, and she doesn't really speak. She doesn't say anything to anybody. She just keeps walking and walking. And as you come to the bottom of the stairs, suddenly in front of you, maybe 3 or 4 blocks away, appears a distorted and tainted image of the castle that was described to you by Albrecht, that he saw, that he went to when he went through this same thing. It is built out of that black, material. But it's fully made out of metal or stone. You can't really tell. It's very difficult. It kind of flashes back and forth between those two looks. There are SS officers moving around the outside of the building, or SS unit, or soldiers moving around outside of the building, as well as some people in in robes.
Are they clearly discernible yet, or are they still blurry?
They're discernible. The castle itself is blurry, but it's more that it's forced here. That's what it looks like, instead of being a natural thing or being alive.
What is the color of the soldier's skin like a regular color?
Yeah. They're clearly like human people. German, you can hear them speaking what you understand, and it sounds like in English, but it's German. You can sense that it's German. And as you walk, you quickly, in less than 3 blocks past the castle, the Germans take note of you, but they take note it's like they recognize you're there, but don't seem to think you're important. They have there's almost a lively glow around them that when you look at each other, you don't see. Now that you can see that they have like a vibrancy to their skin tone and the colors of their clothes, you don't have that same vibrancy in your own clothes. They've dulled and faded a little.
Okay.
And they were probably like that when you got here, but now you're just seeing a contrast. So you walk past the castle, just past it. There are archery areas for people to practice with bows and arrows, and there are bows and arrows about, and people practicing there in their SS uniforms. And you move past that and keep going. And
what are those for?
some of the mechanical things don't work well here, so we train here with bows and arrows to make sure that we can protect ourselves.
From the spiders?
Oh no, they wouldn't dare come here.
What would harm you here?
Intruders from the natural world.
Ah.
So others can make their way here.
Oh yes, absolutely. You'll see one day. Be patient, Doctor. It will come. It will.
That's
And
hard
when
for me.
she says it will come, it's almost like she was walking away from you, and now it's like she's standing staring at you, and you have stopped, and there's an intensity in her eyes that is a little overwhelming. And she can turn, and she doesn't turn; she just continues walking, and she's suddenly turned back the other way. As you walk for maybe another block or so, the valley opens itself up, and suddenly you see there an orb in the sky of complete blackness. But it isn't. But now that you've seen it, you can understand what Albrecht meant. It is not black. There is nothing there. You can feel that there is life and death both radiating from it. There is an outline around it, but what you realize is that's just the end of it. It's not an outline. It just stops. And you can feel it peering through you.
Is this the same place we walked into?
You appeared here last time, right here. And you were here for a while. You didn't see any of the other bits of this that they've just experienced. I need everybody to give me a sanity roll.
I am very specifically not looking at the sun. I'm trying to look at the ground around me.
Okay.
Trying to nonchalantly not look at it, like not to draw their attention that I'm not, but not.
Roll power times 3.
Let's see, that's
What's your power?
I have a 65. My power is 17. Yeah, no, I didn't make my power.
So if you rolled over 51?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm assuming you don't want a sanity from me.
Oh, not you. I'm sorry. I apologize.
So since I failed that, do I still need a sanity roll?
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm assuming I'm looking at it.
If you failed, roll a d20. If you succeed, roll a d8.
Even though I've already seen it?
Yeah.
Hey, 20.
Hey, not bad.
Carlos, you wake up.
17.
Is that a fifth of your sanity?
I've got, I'm at 52.
Oh, yeah, that's a fifth of your sanity. Evelyn, you wake up.
Just a 6.
Okay. Is that a fifth?
I lost.
I didn't think so. And what, Jesse?
I lost 2.
Okay. So, Carlos and Evelyn disappear. In kind of a shriek, you both wake up. There is no temporary insanity. You've just lost your point, or your points. And you feel a complete and utter dread and vile hatred of whatever that was. It was not natural. It was terrible, and it if left to its devices, will destroy you and the world. Back in the valley. Oh, you have a question, George?
I pull out a gun.
Okay. We'll hold on to that for a second.
Yeah.
Sure. Back in the valley, Tahira turns around and, oh, that's unfortunate. Not everyone can handle it. It happens. It's part of the drug that doesn't allow you to stay, even if it does pull parts of you apart.
Mm.
This is the Black Sun.
What is the Black Sun?
An elder thing.
What elder thing? Like an elder god?
You'll learn as we go. This is older than our world and holds so many unknowns. The Atlanteans knew. The Hyborians knew. And you will learn what they learned. Now, you also are feeling that same dread. This is not good. This isn't like,
right.
Oh, I want to learn more about this. This is like, I need to never come back here. This is a terrible idea. I should fight against this. Like, there's a clear, you're still saying this is a terrible idea. Now, are you still interested?
Yes.
Roll persuade.
Are you assuming
Got it.
he's lying?
Yeah.
Got it.
You got it? She was 7-8 feet away from you, and as you say yes, you feel her hand stroke down the side of your head, like stroke your hair down and across your neck, and she says, "Good. Because we need more like you. I thought that Evelyn would be able to have the quality of a dreamer, much like Albrecht does. They can be used as weapons against our enemies. But you, Weissler, will love to meet you. To know that you have not only seen what we serve, but you want to know more. He'll find you a place within the Black Sun. We are often looking for masters to lead digs. You could rise well within our ranks. But it's time to wake, and she kind of taps your chest, like full palm, and you are awake. We'll see what that looks like here in a second. She turns to you, Albrecht, and she does the same. Taps your chest, and you are awake. So, earlier, Carlos, you and Evelyn wake up together. You both kind of startle awake. I'd say it's been 3.5 hours or so. For you, Blake.
I probably asked for some coffee.
Oh yeah, at some point there was coffee. They brought in water. Weissler got up and left. He came back. He left again.
Did he ever say anything, or did he just have the
no
stare?
When he got up, he had a weird, creepy smile on his face, but he didn't say anything else. Claudia took all of her notes, sat down at the desk, and then right about the time that she was getting up to look like she was leaving with her notes, she had packed everything up. Carlos and Evelyn both startle awake. They don't scream, but they're like, They don't quite know where they're at for a half a second, and they look around a lot, and then Carlos pulls a gun.
Is there any reaction to that?
Claudia looks over and, don't worry. It's startling.
Okay, I shoot Nitocris.
Okay. Roll your pistol. I assume it's a pistol, right?
Yeah. Missed by 2.
The gun goes off, goes through the couch. Roll luck.
8.
Nitocris doesn't wake up, but at that point, Thomas and Albrecht both do wake up. You are not startled awake. You're fully aware of where you're at. You did hear a gunshot. Claudia smiles very deeply and moves very quickly towards the door.
I'm assuming we're going to go into rounds?
Yeah, I assume so too. So what I'm going to need to do is get dex from all of you. So Shirley, you're awake. You heard a gunshot. What do you do? And you're aware that Carlos is holding a gun, so he probably shot it. It's still a little disorienting, so it's not like you know that he shot the gun. It's that you're making that assumption. Does that make sense?
Right. I would just shake my head and look at him and say, "What are you doing?"
Okay, so just a real quick reminder on combat, because I don't think you've been through combat, haven't you, Rob? Okay, so combat is we declare, then we go first firing, melee and second firing, third firing if there is any.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, I know. George, do you know what you're looking at for gun wise?
Yeah.
Okay. So Shirley, you're going to be startled.
Right.
Claudia is going to do a thing. George, what are you doing?
Firing at Claudia.
Okay. Phil, what are you doing?
I saw George fire at Nitocris and miss. Is Reisler in the moon?
Weisler is not in the room.
He's not in the room at the moment. From my time at the FBI, have I read about Tahira?
You read about Tahira, but not her connection to Nitocris, so.
Right. I'm firing at Tahira.
Okay.
I use Nitocris, but I don't actually know she's Nitocris.
Yeah, it's fine. And I get that. That's fine. Jesse, what are you doing?
Which one of them was our guide in the dream world? Tahira?
Mm-hmm.
I will draw my gun and fire on Tahira.
I do have to draw my guns.
Yeah, so you guys won't get first firing. You'll fire on normal. And if you have a third firing, you can still fire then. Rob, what are you doing?
I don't know. This is escalating so fast.
Right?
Right? He pops out of the dream world. I'm still stunned and, lost. I'm kind of in the same boat.
Well, you are fully aware of what's going on.
Right.
But I'm not saying you can't take it all in. I'm just saying you are fully aware of what's going on.
I'm reaching in the pocket I put the sand in.
It's not there.
This is how I wanted to end it in the first place.
Wuss.
What are you doing?
He wants to, so these two have their guns drawn now.
Yes. Well, they will. But are you know that there's firing going on. Are you going to join them with firing, or what are you going to do?
No, I'm going to duck behind the couch.
Okay. Okay. So, I think that's a great place. So that'll do us tonight for this episode of Nerds Domain Presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. Come back next time for Murder Times.
And that will do it for us tonight on the Nerds Domain Presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. Remember, you can email us at nerdsdomain@gmail.com or find us on facebook.com/nerdsdomain, on Twitter @nerdsdomain, or over at our site, nerdsdom.com. Be sure to sign up for the newsletter while you're there. You can head over to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. We want to thank Josh Schott for our music. Don't forget, you can support us at patreon.com/nerdsdomain. And check out our shirts at slashloot.com.